Well, howdy y'all, student meteorologist Chloe Arroyo here, and wanted to talk a little bit about informally, I want to talk about these travel impacts and the winter weather that we're expected to see tomorrow. So, very colorful map for Oklahoma and even Texas, Arkansas, and Missouri right now. Even up there in southeastern Kansas, they're expected to see a little bit of snowfall with this, but a pretty big storm all around. So if you're in the pink zone, you're under a winter storm warning. This could include up to 4 to 6 inches in some areas and localized even higher, 6+ inches. Now, that is not likely, but we want to make sure that we're staying aware of that, especially with those heavier bands starting to form or beginning to form. That's usually pretty common for a big snowstorm like this, where we get those bands that create heavier lines of snowfall accumulation. Now, a little bit further north, you're going to be in that winter weather advisory to winter storm watch region. Tulsa County is in a winter storm watch, which means you could see up to 2 to 5 inches of snow. But with that winter storm watch, in order to be warranted a winter storm something, whether it be a watch or warning, you need to have a little bit of winds associated with it, just to reduce the visibility, and that could warrant a winter storm watch or winter storm warning. So if you are in one of those two regions, you do have a chance to see some more elevated wind speeds associated with that, which could blow the snow around here and there, could reduce some visibility and create some travel impacts. So you're going to want to make sure that you're staying cautious of being out and about on Tuesday afternoon, especially into evening as you head further east. So let's take a look at a little bit of a further look into those times. Now, early morning on Tuesday, southwestern Oklahoma and even portions of the Panhandle in Texas are going to start to see that snow basically start to form. And then in Elk City, Lawton, even Woodward and Guymon, early morning, 6 to 9 a.m. So as you're waking up, getting ready for work in the morning, you're going to start to see those flurries start to enter the picture. And a few hours later, that's when you're going to start to see the noticeable accumulation. So you're going to want to be careful if you're getting out in the morning to go to work and the roads seem fine. You're going to want to be cautious, because in the afternoon it's not going to be the same case. Now, central portions of Oklahoma are going to see snowfall enter the picture around 9 a.m. to noon. So a little bit on the later side, but that's going to extend throughout the day. So there's much more opportunity to see heavier snowfall amounts. And then by the time you head further east, you're not going to see any snowfall. You'll see some rain early mid-morning into afternoon, but that's going to transition into snow as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. So they'll see late night snow on Tuesday night. So travel impacts are going to be most significant in eastern Oklahoma in the evening hours, when they see more snow accumulation start to hit the picture. Now, here's the chance for snow. Now, across central portions of Oklahoma from east to west, you can see that line right there. That's going to be where you see 3 to 4, even possibly 4+ inches of snow possible, especially in that southwestern portion where you see Elk City and Lawton. Now, Norman is kind of hit or miss at this point. You could see 3 to 4 inches. You could see a little bit more. There are also a couple models trending to be a little bit down, a little bit less than that. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that and making sure that we give you guys the latest update. But a safe bet right now is to say around 3 to 4 inches. Now, for Tulsa, you could see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. This model is showing about 2 to 3 inches, which is a safe bet for Tulsa right now. So a whole lot in Tulsa in terms of accumulation, but just enough to issue any type of road closures or road delays. Now, here's a look on the map to see kind of like the timeline, but more so of a visual picture. Tuesday morning, we'll see some snow enter into the picture in the Panhandle and western Oklahoma. But when we get in around 9 a.m. to noon, that's when we're going to start to see it more widespread across the entire state. Afternoon into evening, it'll enter into the eastern portions of Oklahoma. But here's where it gets really dicey. You can see a lot of pretty colors at this point, right? We see a lot of blue, we see a little bit of pink and purple, got a little bit of green and yellow. That indicates some rain and wintry mix in the picture. So this is where it gets a little dicey because some regions could see straight up rain depending on their local temperature. So it could depend, and it could all change within the span of even 1 degree, as little as 1 degree. So for the most part, this is a very widespread event, but how much snow you could see or how much rain you could see really depends on the outcome tomorrow. So definitely stay tuned with OU Nightly, and we'll give you the latest updates as data rolls in further and further. Now Wednesday, that'll be out of our system completely, or out of our area completely. Wednesday evening, all clear by then. All good right then. So now current road temperatures are a little warm, are a little on the warm side, right? So temperatures hanging around in the mid to upper 50s across the board. Now earlier this afternoon, I do believe southern portions of Oklahoma topped out in about the 70s. So we've cooled off quite a bit since then, but still not enough to cool off completely to below freezing by the time we get to snow tomorrow. The only thing that's counteracting that is the extremely heavy snowfall that we could be seeing. So once this snow enters into the picture, if you are past that rain line and you're only seeing snow at that point, you could see some really heavy bands of snow. And when you get those heavy bands of snow, that's going to counteract and it's going to overpower the warmer road conditions. So warmer road conditions won't be an issue for heavier bands of snow to create that accumulation. Now let's take a look at our travel timeline for tomorrow. Early tomorrow morning, rain is going to transition into that snow and roads will be pretty fine at that point. You're just going to see some rain. So for the most part, we're just going to see some wet roads early in the morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Now, 9 a.m. to noon, however, that's when it's going to start to become slush and the roads are going to be more packed because people are going to be driving on it. So it's going to start to form, accumulate, going to get packed even more on the road as it is driven on in the afternoon. And into the evening hours, roads are going to become covered completely, especially in those heavier bands of snow. But by the evening hours, anywhere from 3 to 10 p.m., we could see some minor roads close. Now, not necessarily any major roads or major highways like I-35 or I-40, the chances of those being closed, not very likely. But some minor roads, side roads maybe, could be closed temporarily because of the snow impacts. So now the weather hazards, last thing I'll talk about, we do have a very high chance for some slick roads and therefore we have a pretty high chance for some closures, road closures, I will say, excuse me. Now school closures will be pretty high as well, and then we have seen 2 universities close, but in terms of high schools and elementary schools or public schools, they will be possibly going virtual. In OKC Metro, especially a little further south of OKC, could be going virtual for the most part. Now, power outages are not much of an issue just because we're not seeing ice, we're seeing snow. And unless we get 8 to 12 inches or even higher than that, we shouldn't have an issue with power outages, which can put us virtual for schools. And I'll leave that up to you to decide whether that is fortunate or unfortunate. But stay tuned to OU Nightly and continue to keep updated. We're going to be posting on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yards throughout this entire weather event, and we're going to keep you guys updated the entire time. So have a good afternoon, and you'll be hearing more from us.